you know, just to give you a little background. So, you know, Maven does, we do our own brand, but we also do bulk as well. Oh, nice. So what I focus on is like, you know, the manufacturing side of Maven and Kush. So we bulk out distillate, and we also use some for our brand as well. So I deal with the ends of manufacturing it and as far as selling it as well. So the market's crazy, man. It's kind of crazy in the sense where some days it's up, some days it's down. A lot of people like to come into Cali to do shopping or whatnot. So kind of like within a day, stuff can change. You know, it all just depends. So it's really, it's an interesting market, dude. Like
when you guys retail as well, that's like,
so, but so Maven and Kush, we do retail as well. So we have 2 stores and we do have 2 brands, but we have a lot of lights going. We have a lot of stuff going. So we also do a lot of bulk as well too. So there's a lot of brands and stuff you'll see in Cali.
Do you think that's essential to be successful in your region, is to not only, you know, have retails, but also be involved in the wholesale game?
You know, well, it all comes how the market goes. So it's like, I think it's right in the beginning, it was great. Yeah. You know, well, now it's coming to a point where it's like, you don't want to take on too much because of that before.
Well, to have stores all over Cali, you'd need, you know, 50 stores or
correct. So we only have 2 stores. Yeah. We have the Maven genetic store, which is located in the Valley. Yeah. And then we have the Kush store. Nice. And like I said, they're related.
Do they have different feels? Are they like different themes?
Well, what we go for is this. When you come shopping in LA, it's really hit or miss. Like what I see, what people end up doing is you go to a dispensary and you're leaning over a shelf, pointing at a product, speaking to an uneducated budtender, and they don't know what they're talking about. And they say, do you like indica sativa? And you're like, dude, just shut up and give me some weed. So what we go for is a different feel. We're a boutique style atmosphere. Yes. So like kind of like Beverly Hills, like when you come down to our dispensaries, you sit in a nice waiting room where it shows you all the displays, all our specials, all the awards we've won, everything that's going on for the day. And then you get greeted at the door by a educated budtender who's smoked everything on the shelves, and he basically walks you through as a boutique style, and you can pick and choose what you want.
Yeah, so you're not getting bullshitted as much.
No, like that's the whole thing. Like it's so annoying when you go shopping for product, especially if it's medicinal, recreational. Yeah. You want to make sure you know you're someone who's used it before, you know?
Well, and you would think that's an essential in a mature market. You know, rec market, cool, you know, fly whatever the fuck you can out the door or whatever. But as that market matures, I think the consumer base really starts to expect more. You know, we're seeing it in New Mexico. We're super saturated with licenses. But for the most part, the experiences suck. Like these are hole in the wall pop-up fucking dispensaries. They have shitty products, they're shitty prices, whatever. The ones that are doing well and the ones that we're really seeing success, they have something to offer the client. They have something to offer the consumer. Like you said, it's from a bougie, really nice boutique experience area. Everything's clean, everything's pretty, to also that next level of education, to where, you know, like going into the Mercedes dealership, you know what I mean? They're not fucking around. The cars are not only extremely nice and well built, but those motherfuckers know their shit. You know what I mean? It's not like going into CarMax or whatever, you know, no offense, CarMax. But, you know, it's not like going into some of the lower level dealerships. When you walk into a, you know, Mercedes-Benz dealership, it's a different feel. And so I think stores that are really going for that and retails that are really going for that different feel, that special, you know, extra, are the ones that are really going to race to the top.
And then a really thing that makes us stand out from everyone else, like when you go shopping at dispensaries and you find a flower product, and if you look at the package date, that product is 3 months, 4 months, maybe almost a year old.
You guys are pretty fresh.
So when you look at our package dates, Kush, our dispensary, not only do we grow the product on site, so package dates are literally within the week. We've always grown good flower. That's the thing about us. But we didn't enter the awards, and we didn't do this before, but recently we started doing it. And now that we've been entering this net, we've been winning a bunch of awards. We got Emerald Cup, Best Distillate Cartridge, because we do cannabis-derived terpenes from our actual flower that we extracted.
Which, like I said, super saturated market, so that's hard. That's a hard award. That's a good
one. And we weren't even going to enter that one, but the last minute, we're like, you know what? We make the best product. Let's go ahead and enter that one. And then we won also 17th place for French Laundry in that one for Best Indoor Flower. We won Farmers Cup, and then we won 2 in the high times.
Yeah,
so
any flower categories are going to be super hard in category because there's so much competition. So no, it's cool, man. It's cool. I'm super proud of you. It's awesome. You know, your fellow gang member. It's cool to see, you know, the success of the different members of the group. It's really inspirational. It's really motivating because each state, you know, all the members are killing it. You know, for the most part.
Yeah.
So no, it's good to know you, man. It's cool to see, have that good energy and see that success. Because it's contagious. Yeah. It's inspiring and you know, we want to be same thing in New Mexico and we've pretty much achieved it, but we want to stay at that, you know, top level and really be the standard for extraction, for edibles, for, you know, for these people that go into these places that we know we're wholesalers. We don't get to live in the luxury of retail, but we know they're going to pay the markup. We know people are going to pay a lot for these products. So at the end of the day, we really want to be able to stand by them and know that people are going to enjoy, they're going to get their value out of it. And they're going to, you know, go home with a smile on their face.
So do you have a Pharmers Retail out there or what?
We don't.
What's up with a Pharmers Retail? Because I'd come down to see it.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that right now. That'd be really awesome,
I appreciate that. We've thought about it, but same thing. The same reason we don't grow yet is we've really just always wanted to stay in our lane. And you know, there's so many great producers, so many great growers out there. There's so many great retails out there. You know, I'm an obsessor, so I get really obsessed. So I couldn't just have 1 or 2 stores. I'd want 100 stores. And then I'd be obsessed doing that and trying to take over that side of it. And I don't think my wife or my family or my crew could handle any more obsession. And so, yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome, man.
So what's next for Maven? What's on the horizon?
So next, you know, for us, we're going to keep pushing. We got a bunch of new stuff on the way. We've been working with a bunch of awesome breeders that, you know, we can't really say right now, but
of course,
really good breeders.
So new genetics, new flavors,
so good
coming
stuff. You know, so come check out tomorrow. We have a candy competition going on with the Connect community.
Nice,
and we have like growers from all the United States coming in and entering this. So it's gonna be a bunch of candies. So what's
the candy competition? What's
so basically, you know, there's this new strain going on. Yeah, candy terps. So everyone's all about these candy terps, you know, candies and colors. So what we decided is everyone says they have the lemon cherry gelato, they have this and that. So what Connect community, which is Sergio, who's an awesome dude, check him out, the Connect community. He put together a competition with Kush and Maven where it's let's see who has the best candy flavors. You know what I mean? You got the lemon cherry gelato, you got this. Let's see who has the best thing. So we did in LA, and the winner wins a belt, a wrestling belt.
Oh, dude. I fucking love it.
You got to check it out. So tomorrow, we had the one in LA. So tomorrow we have the one for the United States. Everyone's entered it in.
No
so
shit.
Sergio.
Where are you guys having that at?
I'll have to look up the exact details. So it's awesome. It's going to be awesome. Then check it out and like. We have a bunch of flour that we'll be giving away too, so you can.
So you guys are involved in throwing that competition?
Well, it's really Connect community.
Okay,
but Maven
so you're involved in the community.
Are the ones who like came up with the idea and were like, you know, let's all put it together.
That's really cool, man. Yeah. It's more and more. We're seeing more and more companies collab. And I think that's really important in our industry. So much of this industry has been closed off. Don't look at what I'm doing. You know, I want to hide. Everything needs to be secret. Which is still that level of aspect. Everybody wants to keep their IP secret, but it's really cool to see some of these companies kind of collaborating, doing things together, throwing competitions, doing, you know, actually putting their stuff out there because shit's hard.
When we first got on this shit from, you know, legacy days, it was kind of like, let's work with the people, let's work with our people and fuck the man.
Yeah.
As it became legal, it was like, well, now we're working for the man.
Yeah.
And kind of we have to say, fuck our people because we have to do it. But now that people who have fallen out of the business or not, now we're coming back to that again.
I love that.
Where we're working with our people again. And that's what I want to be. You know what I mean? It was like, it's just this whole turnaround where now it's like, okay, now we're working for the man, but let's come back to our people. Yeah. Because we're the original ones. The original ones are the ones who are around anymore. It's crazy. So it's like, and now I'm seeing that back come around. So I'm awesome you brought that back up because like, that's where it's going now. And that's where it should be. Like, that's why we're working with the Connect community, Compound, this, like all these other things, like, because we're sharing genetics, seeing what we can do. Facilities are different. There's new technology with LEDs, HPS, this and that, and everyone, so you can give someone a clone in 2 different facilities and it can be the same as that clone, come up different.
Oh, it's really hard to standardize that level of genetics and growing. And we see it too, region to region. You know, if you're growing in a different climate, I mean, we're a mountainous region at over 6,000 feet. And, you know, it's different than growing at sea level.
Right.
And same thing, the same pheno, same cup might not do the same in Albuquerque that it does in LA. So I think collaborating and really coming together as an industry is going to just make the community stronger. And you're right. It's an awesome way to put it about, you know, what drove us apart and what's bringing us back together. I think if the legacy guys and if the real cannabis culture guys really stick together, we will see this industry stay, you know, for the culture. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
And it's crazy because, you know, we work in different states. Our businesses don't even deal with each other, but it's like crazy because we live in the same country.
Yeah.
So when it becomes federally legal, this is all become crazy and see where it really stands. But I think hopefully it works in all our benefits and everything. But dude, as seeing you working from another state, I really appreciate everything you've done.
Thank you, brother.
You've been fucking awesome, dude.
Man.
Like really appreciate
No,
everything
same here,
done,
dude. You've been a huge inspiration. You know, when we first met, you're like, oh my gosh, no, what's up? And when I found out, you know, who you were, I was like, oh my gosh, you're Maven. Like, so it's cool to kind of look at each other from the different spectrums. And yeah, man, I really support what you're doing. Thank you for coming on and talking with us.
Yeah, dude. Anytime, dude.
It's cool to get, like I said, everybody's takes and yeah, we'll have to have you down to New Mexico sometime.
Okay, and if you ever come to California, come to LA, dude. Love to give you a tour. We can check everything out, dude.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
So where can they find you? What's the best way to
So you can find me at clearly_Binesh on Instagram. You can also check out Maven Genetics Official on our Instagram and Kush Alley Cultivation.
Nice. Well, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you, bro. Oh, yeah.